It's 11 o'clock, going live.
Annoying little beast.
All right, let's see.
Despite my strenuous objections, my mother adopted a neighborhood stray dog.
All right, we should be live. I'm not seeing. I'm checking on my phone.
Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. Yeah. So if anybody sees me on YouTube, oh, I got a Granger ad. There we go. All right.
There it is. Yay!
All
Here's the
right.
stream. I'm gonna post that.
The
I'm gonna
stream is
put it
up.
over on the other.
All right.
There.
Hello, YouTube. This is Matt Heffernan. I got Tom Wilson here with me. And today we are celebrating the Retro Desk getting 10,000 subscribers. Actually happened a few days ago or last week. I don't know. I've lost track. It's been kind of a busy couple weeks for me. A lot of turmoil in my personal life, but things are settling out now, and I'm finally able to get this to happen. I am here literally on the Retro Desk. You can't see it on camera, but I am sitting at the Retro Desk with the Commander X16 and my daily driver personal laptop. And what we're seeing over here is the actual Commander X16 being fed to you live on YouTube. So how do I do this? Well, got a few little doodads in the middle. I've got first a converter that takes that VGA video and sends it to HDMI, and then I have that HDMI converter going into my HDMI pass-through capture device, which is how I'm getting it on OBS, and you're seeing it here. And finally, I am also seeing it on my old school CRT top of the line of 2001 monitor by taking that HDMI signal from the pass-through and going back to VGA. So it's...
I'm a little surprised you're not just using the composite output.
Oh,
I bet the thing won't handle 240p very well.
yeah, and so it's made for VGA. Someday I'll probably get a VGA pass-through capture, but for now the HDMI pass-through is what I have, and it seems to be a nice catch-all because no matter what, I can convert to HDMI and get what I need. But now I'm collecting all of these other things, even things like this guy, a little TT Go VGA. It's just big enough to have a VGA connector on it. So I'm accumulating these different VGA based modern retro computers. So I might have to get that passed through. But anyway, what we're gonna do this evening, I don't know, we'll see. Oh, Justin's on there. Hey, Justin, Robert Harris, samples and tests. I think that's a person. Maybe that's a robot. And Jody. All right. So we got a few people at least piping up in the comments. And yeah, so what we're going to do today in honor of these 10,000 of you, all of you guys, and if you're not subscribed, thankfully you're finding the channel, you're finding our live stream. But, it's totally free to click that subscribe button, and it gives you extra awesome feels if you click the little bell next to that, so that then you get these very helpful and not at all annoying messages on your phone, these notifications saying, hey, the Retro Desk has posted a new video, or hey, the Retro Desk is live right now, you should tune in. And you've obeyed YouTube, the algorithm, enough to come here and watch this, and I thank you for that. And so Tom and I are going to just spend the next, 45 minutes and an hour or so just trying to get as far as we can in Chase Vault and see how far we can get. Admittedly, I am not the best gamer. I am a person who enjoys making games far more than actually playing games. And in Chase Vault, I have made a game that is just a little too difficult for me. So I can get pretty close to the end. I've never beaten it without any of my special built-in cheats being enabled. So we'll see how far I get with cameras watching. All right. So, like I said, I've got the X16. I've got my wireless SNES controller. If you haven't seen that video, that's back in there. Not a lot of people have seen that video, but I think it's a nice little short one, and it shows you how this is a fully SNES compatible 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller from 8BitDo, and it works great. It works with the X16. It works with the Super Nintendo. And of course, Tom is a collector of all of these 8BitDo goodies, and it's great because they're flexible enough to work with both old consoles and old computers and new consoles. So like I can hook this up via USB to my Switch or my PC, or I can just use the wireless transmitter to play on my X16. And if I wasn't so stupid to have gotten rid of my Super Nintendo, I would play it on that too. But I don't have any of my old things anymore.
And with appropriate receivers, all of the 8BitDo wireless transmitters will work with USB or with the consoles that they're designed for. And I think there's 3 different of these console-specific adapters, and they also have a USB-specific receiver. I've got a couple of these now.
Nice. All right. Oh, it's only Tom in the comments now. Been added to it. All right. So let's go. Let's see. I don't know how. I'm not going to be terribly chatty when I'm playing games, but I'm going to try not to swear, because generally if I'm going to talk while I'm gaming, I'm going to swear, but I really try to keep it clean and family friendly here on the YouTube. So let's get it going. All right. So you might hear bleeding on my mic. I didn't patch the sound in from there, but you'll hear a bit of the music and sound effects of Chase Fault. All right, so here we go. All right, level 1. I can usually beat level 1 without without dying, since I've done it far more than any of the other levels, and I'm used to the way that the ghosts navigate. Of course, Tom and I are talking about some of the ways that I wrote this game, and this is all written by me entirely. I did not have any collaborators on any part of it, but obviously you can see there it owes a debt. Now, of course, now I just killed myself.
Oh, they got me.
It owes a debt, of course, to Pac-Man, although it's not just a straight up port of Pac-Man, even though it kind of started as that.
I remember your early test builds. Yeah, you just were using the Pac-Man graphics, and you're like, and we're all like, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know, I don't want bad, and I've done other Pac-Man related content on YouTube, and no, they don't like that. Like, you can't monetize this video because it features Pac-Man. So
what the
yeah,
stupid ghost.
Yeah, or it may be actually restricted in some countries. So
yeah, yeah, well, I like the choice. I like having the little Indiana Jones archaeologist running around doing his thing.
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
So I had the idea. It's like, all right, we're gonna try to make it get some of the Pac-Man mechanics in there. You'll notice there are 4 differently colored ghosts, although they are mostly white on mine. I made the coloring a little more subtle, because just the little
borders there,
the little edge of the borders, so that that if you're really paying close attention, you'd be able to kind of figure out.
Is that an avocado that's floating around on the screen?
Yes,
there?
It
is an avocado.
Or wait, no, I'm sorry. No, that's not an avocado. I'm sorry, that's a mango.
Oh, now I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So these ghosts follow the same algorithm, although I didn't reuse any code of like a 6502 based Pac-Man, because Pac-Man, of course, was written with a Z80. And yeah, so what I did was implemented that, but I threw in a few tweaks, and the way that it goes between these two different modes of either pursuing a particular spot on screen, and that spot is programmatic. It's either a fixed position on the screen, or it is something relative to you, and then there's the way that they turn around corners. It's all determined by the point that they are pursuing. And then it switches to a more hot pursuit mode where the player becomes the point that it's pursuing. And as you get on to later levels, it will actually spend more of its time, the ghosts will spend more of their time in that pursuit mode than in their sort of running scared mode, which is what they always go to when you hit the talismans. And that's the big power pellet type things that they let you go and chase them.
They were
back.
chocolate chip cookies.
They're not chocolate chip cookies. They're voodoo talismans.
I thought those were grandmother's chocolate chip cookies, just like you find at 7-Eleven.
So here's the thing. Once I have a box, I do plan on making a big box version of Chase Vault. That's the only way I have that I'm intending of getting any revenue for it. The game itself will always be free and open source. But if you want to have a big box version of it, that will become available around the time that the X16 gets launched commercially. Because I want it to be a launch title. I mean, it will already be a launch title. It's already pretty much in its final form. So unless there's a breaking change to the Commander X16, that this is probably it. I might make a few other tweaks. I do need to get additional patrons thanked in there. But this is pretty much the game. So yeah, anyway, I started with Pac-Man graphics because, well, that was the very first video that was Commander X16 or retro computing themed at all. Was my first sprite experiments with the Commander X16 Basic. And just making a Pac-Man sprite go around the screen, and first it was just freely floating around the screen. Then I changed it to be this Pac-Man that would then eat the letters on the displays. Like you do a program listing, and you could eat the whole program with the Pac-Man. And that's what first actually started getting a large number of people to my channel.
I had forgotten about that. That's right.
Yeah.
It would eat the program on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was totally controllable, and I've even updated that. It's on my GitHub, and you can play it now. You can play it on the real hardware, and it works. So it's a venerable demo.
Oh, run, Chase! Oh, he didn't make it. Was this guy's actually named Chase, or
no? So
it's Chase fault.
So when I decided to pursue actually making the game, I had come up with the name Chase Vault even before I came up with the graphics, when I was still using Pac-Man graphics, and I knew that, all right, I want to have a something that actually makes more sense in sort of a literary frame of reference, where, Pac-Man is an extremely abstract game. Pac-Man doesn't have arms or legs or anything. He's just a circle that eats. And he's just in a maze. Why is he in a maze? It doesn't make there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's very old school in that respect. So I think, well, what would a situation be where somebody would be like going after or encountering ghosts and collecting some sort of treasure, and I say, well, in an ancient crypt. And by coincidence, I was thinking, all right, I wanted to have this concept beyond Pac-Man of having locks. So I can see here I just acquired a key, and I have the choice now to either go down, that'll take me to level 6, or I could go to the right, and that would actually take me to level 13, which is quite a bit harder, but it's your bigger jump up in difficulty, but you're getting towards the end of the game quicker, because it's level 48 is the last level of the game. And so I thought, well, you're chasing after ghosts, you're getting chased, and there's vaults in it. Oh, Chase Vault, that sounds like a good name to call it. And then I Googled Chase Vault, and it turns out Chase Vault is an actual crypt. It's the name of an actual crypt in Barbados. So that set in motion this whole Caribbean theme. And that's why instead of power pellets, I have voodoo talismans. The fruits are all fruits that are native to Barbados. Includes bananas, mangoes, guava, grapefruit, star fruit, and then later on there are the Barbados cherries, the famous cherries from there, and finally the national fruit of Barbados, which is the golden apple, which is neither an apple nor actually made of gold, but it is it is called the golden apple. It is an apple-like fruit, and that is like a Barbadian would actually, that would be their the fruit they'd most identify, the way that an American would identify with like a Macintosh apple or so. Well, hey, let me go in the comments while I'm dead and waiting to continue. So,
well, the one thing I noticed is when you get down to level 8, like I've just been going straight down,
mm-hmm.
and when I get down to level 8, there's nowhere to go except right, and that drops you straight to 16.
Yep. So you're going up by 8.
I was kind of hoping that the levels would progress in an S pattern. So when you get all the way down,
Nope.
then the one to the right would be 19 or 9, then you could go up to get to 16. And
no, so it's
and
consistent that it's always down, and then to the right, and to the right is always going up by 8. Going down is always up by 1. So that
if
way,
I want to go to level 9, I need to go all the way back.
Go
up
all
to
the way
top
back
and
up.
then go to
Yep. If you want to do everything in order, but that was the other thing, is that I find the original Pac-Man very boring, and this gives you multiple ways to win the game. Different strategies, long-term strategies over what is an arcade-style game, which I think is an interesting concept. But anyway, let's look in the comments here. We got Jody. History made. First time live stream X16 game ever. Possibly. Certainly off hardware. I don't think anybody else has live streamed off actual X16 hardware before.
I can't think of any. I mean, people have recorded their X16s into put them on YouTube, but I can't think of anybody doing an actual live stream that way.
No, and like Justin says, does Discord count? And I would say not really, because that's not public per se. But yeah, there have been folks, and I think I've hooked up on Discord with the live feed, but this is the first time I've done it on YouTube, live on YouTube. I've made test recordings before on YouTube, but this is the first time I've done it live, and as far as I know, this is the first time we're seeing a game being played live on YouTube on real hardware like this. And yeah, Barbados rum. Yeah, no, there's no alcoholic beverages in Chase Vault. This is a family game. Even though I
guess you could let those fruit ferment, but that would be kind of.
That's true.
Digital fruit turns into.
Oh, and I can see Tom, you've got the golden apple already, but you missed the Barbados cherries.
I did.
So
I did miss the cherries.
if you acquire cherries before you lose out in your lives, you will gain an extra life, and you will start out with 5 lives with every continue after that. So yeah,
Oh, so even on the continues, you get the extra life.
yeah,
That's cool.
um, yeah. Justin, no idea that
I
much
do
thought
like
and
that you can
research went into
continue
this
from
game's
where.
items. Yeah, you know,
I do like that you can continue from where you left off. That's pretty great.
yeah. So just it's just quality of life things that I wanted to have in the game. If I was going to make a Pac-Man like game, I needed to fix Pac-Man in the ways that I felt made it kind of boring and repetitive. I think
Well, I mean, yeah.
Ms. Pac-Man was an incredible job that was done there by Namco to make a or was it Williams? I think maybe Williams actually made Ms. Pac-Man. It wasn't actually made by Namco, but I think that was an excellent improvement. But I wanted to make it more more
Oh
Zelda-like too.
man.
So yeah, it's a very extremely light RPG elements into a Pac-Man type arcade game. So yeah,
That's an idea. I'm gonna make a Pac-Man game where you can pick up a sword and start bashing the guys with it.
and as you'll get into some of the later levels, you'll encounter the skull, which is definitely a more Zelda-like enemy than these ghosts. And yeah, I know some. Oh, I got the cherries. Here we go, cherries.
Oh man, I got trapped.
So yeah, all these are native Barbados.
Oh man,
fruit.
I got stuck in the corner. I keep expecting this to react like Pac-Man does, where if you hit the joystick before you reach a corner, it cues the movement up until you hit the corner, and then it turns.
No,
And of course, it doesn't work that way here.
no, but here you do get to snap around the corners. And if you watch me play, I'm always snapping around the corner. Like,
Yeah.
oh, now I'm gonna get my golden apple. Bonus.
Onus, Sparks, Nevada.
Oh, man. No,
Oh, that was a mistake. Oh no, that's it.
Really hard to do.
Okay, ready, go.
There we go. Complete to level 7.
I think that was another
So yeah.
citrusy fruit.
So I'm down at level 8 now. So that's the other benefit.
And there it is.
If you go strictly in order, it's the most efficient way to get all the fruit cycles. Because
Oh,
once you get through the first 7, if you got all the fruits on the first 7, then you'll start over on the cycle with 8. And then you can get up to 6 lives.
Got it. Ooh, there's the star. Oh, no. Ah, oh. Okay. So what fruit is the star?
That's the carambola, or star fruit,
Ah,
as folks call it. Oh, man.
it's the star fruit, Tom. Of course it is.
What's that star-shaped
Okay,
fruit?
the one thing I missed.
That'd be a star fruit.
Yeah, it might be star fruit.
Yeah.
Its name is Patrick.
Hey. So,
Okay, so the next one is the cherries. So
All right,
I gotta
so
be looking for cherries in the next
I'm going to go in order for now because that's something I haven't done. So that's the other innovation, if you will, or just idiosyncrasy of Chase Vault is the ability to scroll through. Oh, I just noticed a bug here. It shows a bunch of fruits I don't have. Oh, it shows the fruits that were there. So it's a little behind the scenes of how it works. So all of the levels are one big tile map because the X16 Vera gives you a giant tile map to work with. And so
Nice.
all you're doing is just scrolling around. That's how I can do smooth scrolling between the different levels, is because I don't have to load any new assets in. Everything gets loaded up front. So there's zero lag in the whole game, because everything, all the levels are all loaded. That's why it does take like a minute or so to load the game at the start. But then once it's loaded, you're good to go. But yeah,
Victorious!
You can go
I finally
back
got
through
that
all
fifth,
those.
finally got that last fruit and got my 5th man.
Nice. So yeah, now I'm gonna go back. Now I'm gonna hit level 9 by backtracking. So you can backtrack through the levels you've already beat, and you can use your keys to open doors. And you'll see in some levels there'll be multiple keys. So because some rooms have little bonus areas behind lock and key, like especially where there's a skull. Usually there is a bomb behind a locked door, and if you have an extra key, you're going to want to use that to unlock the bomb. Or you might want to save the key if you think you can avoid the skull's fireballs. And that's easier.
Damn.
That's easier on some of the earlier skull levels when he's only shooting like 2 fireballs, but in the later ones he's shooting 4. And yeah, that's not easy. All right, I'm dead again. Time to look at comments here. Yeah, Robert Harrison. Despite all the sunshine down there, no shadows. Yeah. Nope. I'll say that's part of the voodoo curse on the vault. And yeah, so that's why also like these, you can still see one of the power pellets there on my screen. And yeah, Tom thought it was chocolate chip cookies. They're not chocolate chip cookies. They are voodoo talismans like you would find in the Caribbean. They'd usually be made of clay or something like that, and they would have little cross-shaped punches in them, and that's what you'd use to ward off evil spirits, or in this case, wreak your revenge upon said evil spirits. So Jody recommends a variant. Have the option of dropping ghost traps in the maze instead of just eating power dots. The traps would immobilize the ghost for a few seconds when you're in trouble.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, there's always Chase Vault too. So,
Yeah, because the big thing I always hated about Pac-Man was getting caught in a corner where there was a ghost at each end of the passage you were on.
Yeah.
And that's that's it. I always felt that like that was a little unfair because once you're stuck, you're stuck. But so having a way to like distract the ghosts or push them away or something for like one time per map would be super fun.
Yeah. Well, there's always the possibility of doing a cheat code. There's a little pro tip. You notice there were no ghosts around the little containment area in the center. That's always a good time to get that little row of pellets.
Yeah.
When nobody's around. Take advantage of those times because...
Yes, I do. I try to distract them away and then run down there and get the stuff that's right in front of the box in the middle.
Yeah.
Oops. That was brilliant.
So I'm still going in order here. I may switch that up. We're hitting the half-hour mark of this.